This video would benefit anybody who's a learning and development leader or business leader or founder who wants to know what Accenture is doing. I will put a link in the description of the complete interview. It's not my interview, it's just one that I found through a LinkedIn article that was very good with Accenture CEO Julie Sweet. And so this is continuation. This is part two of two by the looks of what's left of some really, this is basically highlights, and I actually have links to all of these highlights. If you want those, please reach out to me directly because it's like 15 or 20 highlights, and I'm not gonna put that many links inside the description. The algorithm probably doesn't like it, but I will at least put the link to the LinkedIn article and to the video at a minimum. If you want more, reach out to me. So I would recommend you watch the first one if you want to get the whole story, or you can watch the whole video, which is about 40 minutes. So I guess all told, this is about half the time or thereabouts. We don't know yet. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So what we talked about last time was how they had hired that 48% of their North American positions, hiring positions, did not require a 4-year degree. And that of those positions, 20% of the people they actually did hire didn't have 4-year degrees and have worked out exceptionally well. So that's where we left off. So then this one is, she was expressing, Julie Sweet was expressing the need for companies to become talent creators. I did 3 videos in a series called How to Find, Filter, and Foster Exceptional Talent, which kind of goes into this, the foster end. So I can maybe put that link in too. Like I said, not too many links because I'm pretty sure the algorithm wouldn't like that. So it's an interesting thing because that's the perspective they took. It was like, well, here are people without necessarily the formal training and we're willing to skill them up. And so far that the ROI on that has been really high because people are really grateful and appreciate working for a company which seems very progressive and very worth working for, from what I learned in this interview. This is my first exposures to Accenture other than knowing their name and their basic category. So then the next one is what is the most, with the interviewer says, what are the most essential skill set that graduates should have? And her answer to this was technology literacy. What I find is telling is, though she said this, that technology literacy, not necessarily technologist. You don't have to be working in it, but you certainly have to be literate about computer technology these days. Surprise, surprise. But that in a lot of cases, she also talked about for the deeper domain knowledge of the more evergreen stuff, which never changes, unlike the technology, which constantly changes, that they also have a lot in place, as I just said, about that talent development, training development. So certainly technology literacy is desirable, but specifics, you might just get trained on that. But to do that, you would have to be more desirable in your other deep domain knowledge that would be evergreen in the industry. Okay, so then the interviewer went on to talk about soft skills, right? The hard skills of soft skills, as it's now being called by a lot of people. And here's the answer she gives. She says that they hired more people with great critical thinking skills and soft skills than, as I just mentioned, trained them on tech. Now, she was talking about going to liberal arts colleges or universities and hiring people with sort of none of the traditional skills you would expect a company like Accenture would be looking for. But because of the value of these soft skills, that critical thinking isn't necessarily anything to do with the hard sciences. And I'm a hard science guy. So my point is, I am not biased towards liberal arts universities, though technically mine was. I studied neuroscience. Let's see. Right. So she was saying with the critical thinking and soft skills, which seems to be harder to develop than these other skills, which are more akin to rote learning, but not only rote learning. And the exact quote that I pulled out of the interview was, soft skills are absolutely critical. Remember, this is an IT technology company saying stuff like this. So if you wonder about the value of all that soft skill stuff and big companies don't care about that, well, fortunately, at least some actually have woken up to that fact. Okay, so then the next one is another quote from her. She says, we have leadership essential. We have a leadership essential called caring for your people personally and professionally. And this was when the interview brought up the issue of mental health, especially around the COVID-19 pandemic. And she just says, yeah, no, this is a priority for our company to take care of our employees in a more holistic way, including their mental health and their mental well-being. And a lot of large companies have found, a lot of progressive companies have found, this is actually ROI. They get money back out of this from lack of absenteeism, other problems, turnaround, all the problems that can be caused by basically exploiting your employees. Oftentimes it's cheaper to prevent them and take care of those people because, I'm going to go back to my scaling up excellence again, make it so that your employee feels that you are worthy of them and that they must also be worthy of you, or vice versa. It doesn't matter how you do it. When it's like, they're taking care of me, so I'm going to take care of them. This is the kind of thing where you'd get that really high ROI on that. The next one is just giving me links. Okay, this one is, it says, as a leader in a company, if you can't say, and this is her quote, here's how we are helping the mental health of our employees, then that probably is a signal that you aren't doing enough. So literally, if you don't have a mental health, a psychological well-being sort of plan in place in your company, Julie Sweet's saying, then you're not doing as much as you should. You're not doing enough. And like I said, that's a direct quote. And that will actually be the end of this. Yeah, because we're getting back into it. So that will be the end of it. It's going to end a little shorter than most, which is totally fine. I know, not a sexy screen, but that's what happens. In this case, I had some constraints that didn't allow me to do the usual artsy stuff I like to do. So that would be it for Crush It Club 141, Part 2, Accenture CEO Vid Review and Summary. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.